Okay, hello everyone. I am doing a video and it's entitled like Why I Don't Date Black Men. So, first of all, I'm black and I do date. I don't exclude anyone in the dating process at all. But my experience, I'm just going from experience, so maybe the title isn't the right title, but my experience with black men has been they don't seem to be interested in me. Um, so I think technically my first boyfriend was half Korean and half black, which, that's in middle school. And, that didn't work out. Um, one, it was found out that he was in a gang and he had to leave the DC area quickly. And when he relocated to Florida, we used to write letters. This is old school, guys. I am older. We used to write letters, pen letters back and forth, because our plan was like, we're going to get married. He was going to join the military. And I was going to, find a job and we would be together. And my freshman year, he pins me and said that he had got a girl pregnant. So that was the end of that. So again, I met my son's father, who's white. I met him my freshman year. I got into a science and technology school. So I was bused out of my neighborhood to go to the school. So I met him that year. We were just friends. And I have really never seen white people really interacted with white people other than the few teachers that I had in elementary school and middle school, and of course on TV. So in the lunch cafeteria ladies, most of them were white. So when I went to high school, it was a culture shock for me. Just a lot of things. Like I didn't know. This is ignorant, I know, but I didn't know black people got married. I didn't know they were lawyers and doctors, other than the Huxtables. Like I got introduced to Filipinos, Pakistanis, like different culturally. It was a melting pot. Now it was majority black. I think the demographic breakdown was black, Filipino, Spanish, other like Asian, and white. I think that was the breakdown. In that part of Prince George's County, most of Prince George's County, PG County, and in Maryland, it's black and Filipino. Now you have a lot of influx of Spanish and maybe 10% white, Asian. So that's kind of the breakdown, at least when I was coming up. So anywho, so after that, my son's father and I again we broke up, and I'll get into that later because we didn't break up because there was any like cheating or we still loved one another. We broke up for philosophical reasons. We didn't have our belief systems were different. So that was my experience. I didn't now all around growing up. I saw a lot of foolery and back and forth. I didn't see traditional marriages or courtships or dating. But when I got into the relationship with my son's father, it was literally the progression. How I hope even with my son, it was you meet someone, do you have commonality, you fall in love, you make a commitment, your plans are to get married. Of course, that's not like the end goal. And then once you're together and you're married, what are your plans then? So that was what I was introduced. Now, did I see that in my family? Did I see it around me? Not necessarily. And even with my friends who were in relationships, they're black and they were in relationships with black men. It seemed like they always got stuck just in the relationship. They could never move to building something. Again, I don't want to make generalizations or anything, but that's kind of the experience I had. So fast forward in 2008, I had um, an old school computer, which is like the big box and the keyboard. And I just got online, and I think Match.com was out, and I met my ex fiance who is black there. So that is a whole nother set of videos. That's just a whole nother experience, and I want to warn people and I want to tell people, and it just so I hope it wasn't because he's a black guy, but it was just little did I know, like him, that particular my ex-fiance, he looked at my profile and he mirrored the person, all the things that I had said, and over time it started to be revealed that he wasn't that person. He was just saying anything to create a connection or a bond. And I'll go over that. And a lot of people call that narcissistic personality disorder, or somewhere on the narcissism like spectrum, but that's a whole woo. So let me go into that. So when I now fast forward, I'm trying to give people an age range. So I was with my son's father from, sophomore year until like right before I turned 25. And I was with my ex-fiance from like 28 until 34. So I'm giving you guys, and I'm 38 now. So I'm giving you sort of range. And I've been trying to date actively for the last 2.5 years, which has been mostly online dating, speed dating. I noticed in my 30s, not a lot of people like will, hook you up with someone or set you up on blind dates, which was different in my experience in my 20s. And I don't know if it's just like women as we age, like our like commodities. Unfortunately, I hate to look at it, but it is true. Like as we age, whether you just kind of go down as far as being on the market, or it's just that people aren't really dating anymore anyway. So I really don't know. I'm still researching and looking at things. So the reason why I titled this video "Why I Don't Think Date Black Men," because at work, this new job that I've been at for like almost 2 years, I've gotten to a lot of discussions with Black men, and a lot of the Black men will say, why are you single? Why aren't you married? You don't like Black. I had another friend of mine who, she's a friend now, but she said when she first saw me, she's like, oh, she doesn't, I know she's with a white man, or she didn't date Black men or something. I thought that was odd. So that goes to what I was saying in the beginning of this video, is that at least in my experience, I'm not appealing to Black men. And the Black men that, I would, and they're in a way, they're not appealing to me, and it's not based on their look. So let me clear that up. I'm really not a person that's into looks. Physical attraction to me is derived from other things. So I want to know your conversation, your belief systems. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What are your goals? What do you like to do? I like to play around and have a lot of fun. I like to joke. So, and I'm straight up too. So I'm not about the foolery. So any type of foolery. So that's kind of just a little, in a nutshell, a little bit about me. And I find that when I'm interacting, and even on online dating with a lot of Black men, again, I don't want to generalize. It's just been my experience so far. And maybe it's something I'm putting out there. Maybe, I don't know. It's really been always focused about the physical appearance. A lot of Black men make reference to me being red bone, and I hadn't heard that until I was with my ex-fiance. He's from the South. Just my complexion, or they make note of my physical appearance. I was seeing a guy when I was dating, before I met my ex-fiance, a Black guy. We would go on dates and just kind of building a friendship. And I did the big chop probably about 10 years ago. So right around the time before I met my ex-fiance. And this guy could not get over it. He was just like, why'd you do that? Are you going to wear wigs? Like, he was just so fixated on my hair and the fact that I did the big chop. Almost like, why didn't I ask him for permissions? I should have told him. And I was just like, it's just hair. I want to, save money. I'm trying to, it was a very interesting. So we kind of dwindled. That didn't work. I had an experience with a half African, half Black American man, which was a really great experience. He was a great guy. But remember, I told you guys, I didn't have a cell phone for a while, and I just had a home phone. So of course, I didn't give a lot of people my number. So I gave him my number, and we probably dated for about 2 months. A great guy. But he wanted certain things to be a certain way. And if I didn't agree with it, it was just, we couldn't move forward. So one evening, I think we had one kiss. So 2 months dating. He was very thoughtful, a hard worker. So am I. And after we kissed, again, we didn't have sex, literally walked me to my door like a tradition and kiss. So I love that part, just a kiss. Nothing lascivious, nothing, just a nice kiss. So immediately, like the next day, he called me, which is fine. I trust him enough, gave him my home phone. And he was just like, I want you to introduce you to my parents. I'm ready to pretty much lock it down. I want to adopt your son. Like, I'm ready to do this. So I was just like, again, I'm just rolling out of the relationship with my son's father from, I think it was like a year or so. So I'm like, can we just continue to date? And, maybe at the 3 month, 4 or 6 month, like we kind of, let's kind of, it was just like that conversation I will never forget. He's like, if you don't agree to be my girlfriend, it's to meet my parents, like we're done. And I'm like, and I had learned in the relationship with my son's father, you never give people ultimatums. That was like one of the main lessons I learned from that relationship. Many others, but that's one. And I said, well, we should be, why are we like this? He's like, no, it's either now or never. Like, I was like, I don't have time to think about it. Like, it was just like, no. And I was like, I don't want to say no. I really like hanging out with you and I feel like we have a future. And it was just like, listen, if it's no, then I said, if you need an answer right now, is I don't know. He's like, well, I'm taking that as a no. So I was just like, and like he cut me off. He like blocked me. And again, I had Yahoo. I still have that legacy account. Yahoo blocked me, didn't talk to me for a good minute. So I don't want anyone to think that I don't, or I'm not open to dating whomever kind of we're in the same page, especially at this age. So I just want to clear that up, that I'm open to dating anyone from any race or ethnicity, but there are certain things that I'm not going to, I guess, I don't want to say waste my time, but I don't want to invest my time, and I don't want the other person to invest their time if they know straight up that they're not interested in certain things. So now going to what I found with the Black men that I've encountered, even in the church, they do not have a timeline for marriage. If you talk about marriage, they're very deflecting on marriage, or they start to talk about how if someone, whatever the white people, they have created marriage to, I don't know. Or I get another discussion about monogamy. Monogamies are natural. And my whole thing is, if you read my profile, like I said in another video, I'm really kind of upfront. I give the highlights of what I'm interested in. So it's like, well, why would you waste my time and click on me and start to have a discussion if you don't believe in the things that in this profile I said I believe in? And so that's kind of you getting into. And the third thing is, a lot of them, they call me nerdy or cute or stuff like that. So it just seems like our interests, like we're not interested in the same thing. So again, not generalizing. And the Black guys I do meet that we have the same interest, if we're interested in the same thing, they're typically not married to Black women or interested in Black women. So this is a very fascinating thing. And I don't want to say like all Black men are in jail or they're all gay or bisexual, which I hope, one, that we don't have our Black and brown brothers in the prison system. I'd hate to hear that. And hopefully we can reverse that. And if you're a part of the LGBTQ, community, okay. My only thing is honesty. So I will get into it later, but my experience with my ex-fiance, it took me a while not to associate after that experience with a Black man, because I just didn't get it, because he appeared to be like, he in the church, part of like that Black consciousness group. He's the one that kind of made me aware of like the colorism, because I don't know, I wasn't aware, or I didn't really think anything of it, the colorism. Now I'm gonna tell y'all some stories about that. So he seemed to be so like infatuated, if that's a good word, with like race relations, and the Black man has it hard. I didn't understand that relationship and some of his behaviors. Now, if he didn't like me or he didn't like certain things, and we got towards that to the end, what was the point of wasting my time and then cheating and lying? And when he said, "Oh, there were some good things," well, no. If there's certain core things that you don't like about my personality, and you can't see, you don't waste anyone's time, and you don't do them wrong, and you don't lie and cheat, and you don't create relationships and build dreams and sell dreams to other Black women. I just that didn't, and he came from like middle class home, so he wasn't from where the type of way I grew up. So I'm thinking like his so I that's a whole nother story, as I said before. So anyways, I'm rambling, but again, I'm open to dating um whoever meets, sort of, I told you in the last video, those highlights, which I think are pretty reasonable. But I found that Black men, again, in so far in my experience, they're not interested in me, in the type of person that I am, what I'm interested in, my way of life. They're not, I'm not appealing to them. I'm not attracted to them. So, or they're not attracted to me. So that's my experience. I hope if anyone resonates, please like give your experience. Maybe there's other reasons why you have excluded a particular group, in your dating experience, and share it with all of us. This is a no judgment zone. I forgot this too, and my natural hair. So it depends. Sometimes natural hair, it's the reason why my ex fiance, he really loved natural hair. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. But I didn't become natural I'm not a part of a movement, or I wasn't really into like, well, I don't love myself. I couldn't afford the relaxers. The relaxer games had changed. So it had changed from you doing a la carte. I don't know if anyone knows, back in the day, you used to be able to get a relaxer, or get your hair, we called it perm, to get a cut, a deep conditioner, and a hairstyle for $60. So of course, with your tip, it's like $75. So right around that time in 2008, they were changing the game and it became a la carte. So essentially, when you looked at the prices, it's like, oh, it's the same, but it's separate, and it started adding up. And so it's like $100 or more. That time my son was in football, and then he would roll into soccer. He was also doing martial arts. He was in a lot of things. I couldn't afford it. So when I met my ex-fiance, I was just like, oh, I think, I realized I had a lot of bald spots and a lot of things when I went natural. But as I was making a little bit more money, I'm thinking, okay, I go back to relaxer. We can do it all. Black women, we can do whatever we want to do. And he was like, I will break up with you if you relax your hair. So questions of why I stayed and how that whole mental jiu-jitsu of a relationship just was. I definitely will get into as we go along. But that experience, it was just a lot of foolery, a lot of back and forth. He was always moving the goalposts as far as like marriage and kids, and that experience. Again, I don't want to say generalize and say it's all Black men. It's just, I just want you all to know I was in a relationship with a Black man for what is that, 6 years, almost 6 years. Yeah, so I have no issue. But now I'm at a different point. I am staying true to myself. I felt like, especially the middle part and towards the end of that relationship, I wasn't myself. I was doing things that I didn't like to do, like going to get my feet done, and I could do my own feet, but stuff like that. He was into like a manicured look, getting your eyebrows done, very into like the outer appearance. And I think I clean up nice, but I don't want anyone to, I don't know, some of the things he would judge me on, it didn't make sense to me. I thought we had like bigger issues or other more important issues to worry about. So anywho, I think that's it. I may come back if I can recall anything, but I'm not excluding anyone from the dating process. I would love to meet someone who's genuine, who has a love for themselves and others, and of course God, and you can see that being demonstrated throughout their life, and they like to have fun, like to laugh, and they do believe in monogamy, and that's it. And again, that's not a strike against any one race or anything. That's just my experience. So I hope this helps someone. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, and please share your experiences. And I just, good luck to everyone. If you're in the dating process, even if you're in a state of singleness or celibacy or whatever the case may be, let's just all share knowledge and share with everyone else. If something worked or didn't work, we want to especially warn our younger sisters and brothers out here in the dating process. Okay, bye.